questions if you have any, guys. At any point I will be going back and forth to Google, and also that way you can also learn how to find out stuff that you need when you get in trouble, because that's pretty much what happens to all of us. At some point you don't know something, you Google, and then you find, copy, paste, and modify it, right? Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Where will we be meeting after?
Classroom next door for people that are presenting Victor's group. And everything will be classroom next door. You guys are presenting now in the break between this class and the next one, and the rest of you guys are presenting in that same classroom, but after, come at around 8:30 or so, because I'll finish the class quick. Okay?
8:30, okay.
That's good. Okay. So we have many components inside Java GUI. Okay? When I told you that the drag and drop, everything seems so simple and transparent, right? If you do by hand, you have to understand all the components that exist. The first component that you have is the window itself, the whole window. This is like your main container. Okay? This window has already some buttons. This guy, and this guy. The class of this window is called JFrame. So there is a class in Java that already exists called JFrame. Okay? Now, the class JFrame provides a basic window. However, sometimes we would like to add extra behavior to our window, right? So we can either create an object JFrame, something like this, and do JFrame. Let me do it here in the code to show you what I mean. Something like this. JFrame, W equal new, J. Right? Import the class, not a problem. And then keep playing with it. A that set visible so that that is visible is true. Then you can say W that set size and put how big I want the window to be, say 400 by 200. You understand what I'm saying, right? And this will create my window. Let's create my window there. If I want to put a title to the window, I can always go ahead and put something like W that set title. Right? You understand what I'm saying, right? So this is what a window is made of. Simple window. Now, I told you the window has behavior, right? It has buttons, right? So the typical behaviors of this is to minimize, to maximize. That's simple, right? Here is to close the window, right? You can set up this button to do something. Like, for example, you can put a behavior to the window so that when you click here, it shows a message, something like, thank you for using my application. Some applications do that, right? You close them, it shows a pop-up, and then it closes, right? So, how do you do that? Every time you want to add behavior to a button, you have to add what is called an adapter. Okay? If you want to add an adapter for this button, and since this belongs to the window, that adapter is called window adapter. Okay? So you will have to say W that, and then here you will have to say window listener, and here say I want a window adapter to be in charge of this. And here you will have to specify what you want that window adapter to do. Okay? Now the window adapter listens to everything. The window adapter will be in charge of everything. It could be in charge also of resizing, because every time you resize or you click here, you are asking the window to do something, right? Now, if you want to program what to do here, you will have to program the event of this button. This button is going to deal the event of window closing. So you have to deal with window closing event. Okay? Most of the times you don't know how the heck to do that. So Google is your friend. You come here and say window close event JFrame. In Java will show you how to do that. Let's run an example. So here has a frame, the page, right? If you create create the frame and you put a string there, guess what that string is gonna be?
The title.
The title. So in my way, I create a window without anything, right? And then I put set title manually, right? But if you do like this, then you're doing all at once. You understand what I'm saying, right? You then put in the size. I'm gonna explain to you in a second what do I mean by this. Okay? So you create a window, simple, right? Now, you see that it says add window listener, and then it says new exit listener. So this is what I did. Remember I told you window listener, and I was putting new exit listener. What he's gonna do in that class exit listener is here, you see? That's the class exit listener that extends from a window adapter. You understand what I'm saying? And now he's having here the method that says window closing. So what he's gonna say is whenever you click that button to close, I'm gonna do system.exit. Do I have to put system.exit only? No, before doing system.exit, I could put JOption pane, show message dialog, thank you for playing, for example. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So you understand that every time I'm dealing with an event, I have to play with an adapter. The adapter is the class that is in charge of managing it, right? Now, since what you can do when the window is closed might vary, maybe he wants to pop up an image and say and put a picture of the developer. Maybe she wants to put a message, thank you for playing. Maybe Darlene wants to say, show a button to donate to PayPal. There can be different options, right, of what you want to do when you close, right? So Java provides one class called window adapter that has abstract methods. Sorry, has methods, and one of them is the window closing. Okay, this is one of the methods inside this class window adapter. Now, what Java asks you is, if you're going to extend window adapter, is because you want to create your own class to manage the methods from this window adapter. One of the methods from this window adapter is the method window closing. By default, the window adapter window closing does pretty much nothing. But if you put here window closing also and call it the same name, guess what? When you close, Java is going to say, which one do you want to use, the default one or the one you have? Since you have put one for you, this is going to be the one that is used. That is called overriding, remember? So this is what it's going to be called instead. And this is how you can define different behaviors for the same event of closing the window. Got it?
Yep.
Simple, right?
Yep.
Simple? So, now we figure how it's done. If you want to do that, that shouldn't be a problem, right? I wish I could copy from here to the laptop, right? Copy paste, right? So here you would put your new window adapter, but here you would put your class. Say, you can create an adapter for everything, right? So you can say, you can call it window manager, for example, the one that manages the events, right? If you want to do that. So here I would have to come here, and I would have to create my own class window manager, right?
You have an extra semicolon.
Find extra?
Semicolon.
I'll fix it in a second. So you're saying I did something wrong here, right?
AC window manager.
Okay. Okay. So here I have my window manager class. And this class, if I want to use it as a listener for this kind of event, I have to say extends window adapter, remember? And then here I have to put Ctrl+I to import. And then here I have to put the method that I want to override, right? Public, I think it's void, right? The window closing or something, let's see how it's called. Window closing with capital, right? And then I receive a window event, right? Okay, I will let you remember this. Like this, right? Then I receive here a window, event, E, introduction on how to manage what is called events. Okay? Now, the reason why I don't do GUI all the time is because as you become more proficient, sometimes GUI, you just use the drag and drop and just learn to adapt them. But at this point, I don't want to teach you the drag and drop. I told you already how to use drag and drop, but I don't want to put too much focus on that because you are still in the stage of learning. So it's dangerous to give you code that is already pre-made and that might confuse you and then harm you more than help you. So that's why I'm doing everything from scratch. And at the same time, I'm sharing with you how you go over problems, right? I didn't know how to close event, go in a second and show you ready, and I adapt to my needs, right? And that's something you are going to be doing constantly, all the time. So this is done, right? So, here's the thing. Look, I'm doing a bunch of things for a window, right? All these things, right? Now, a window needs to have one or more panels inside. So have you seen those windows that have like little frames here like this? Right? And in these panels, they're called panels, J panels, is where you're going to put your buttons, your check boxes, your radio buttons, whatever you want. So every window needs at least one panel, right? So that I can place components inside of it. You understand what I'm saying? So if I come here again, let me show you the same code here so that you understand what I'm saying. Look for a very simple example so you understand what I'm saying. Let's see if I can do it on my own. So, remember, the window is one big thing, right? It has to manage elements inside of it, like the panel, right? Now, I need to have something to control all the components from the window. So I'll use a container. And what I will do here,
W dot,
sorry?
you needed the W dot. Yeah, yeah. Concept clean up the window.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, we're talking about this. Okay, so, check this out. Now I'll create a panel. J panel, in my panel, you can use J panel, right? Now, what will I do? Do you see the flow, right? I'm creating a window, I'm creating a panel, and then I'm gonna, if you want, you can put this at the end so that you don't get confused. I'm creating my panel, right? Now inside my panel, if I feel like I can create buttons, I'll create a button. So my button equal new button. And I can put something here like, this is what's gonna be the text for the button. Okay? Now, the button has to be added to the window or to the panel?
Panel.
Panel, right? So you're gonna say my panel that add my button. Got it? Now, this panel has a button in there, but nobody is referencing the panel. The panel has to be added to what? To the window, right? So that's why I use CP, and then I will say CP that add my panel. Got it? So now I have that. Clear? Now you might wonder, I'm doing everything in the main. Looks like I'm doing everything in the main, right? You see?
Yeah.
In last class I was doing all this bunch of classes, right? correct?
Yeah.
Well, actually today I used two classes, the main and the window manager, which was for the adapter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now why the heck did I do a bunch of classes last time? For organization purposes. You know what's the problem of doing it like that? That I'm creating a frame, right? The window, and then putting the size, and I can put a bunch of different properties to the window, and then I'm putting my panel if I want to put a bunch of properties, because the panel can also have different size and a bunch of things, then it's becoming messy, right? And then if I want to put more buttons, if I want to have 10 buttons and 10 checkboxes and 10 labels. So you see the boxes and the labels all in the same code with the window, right?
Yeah.
So you can separate the components and keep them connected. So what I'm going to do is create a class to manage just the window. And that class is going to be called window. I call it window. It can be called ventana, whatever you want. Okay? Now, I'm going to have a class just for the panel called window panel. And then inside window, guess what? I'm going to create an instance of this window panel and add it in there. Right?
Yeah.
And from the GUI by hand, all I will do is instantiate windows, a new window, and that will start the whole thing. Got it?
Yep.
Just for organization purposes. Is that clear?
Uh-huh.
Seems simple, right? So let me comment this out. So all I will do is just say this. Right? Create a window, specify the size. Now, in this window, I can even specify if I want a title. Title, whatever. Now, I have to create my class window, right? My class window, now I want to have title, so I'm going to let me do something like title. And then what I will do here is say set title, right? Set title. So set title to title. Got it? Yes?
Yep.
So, what's the thing here? I'm putting a string title and all that, right? So, since this window is now a separate class, I'm not using new JFrame anymore, I'm using new window. This window, to be a window, has to look like JFrame. Has to behave like JFrame, correct?
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say extends JFrame. So pretty much I'm saying this window that I'm creating, that I call window, is going to be whatever JFrame offers plus more. And why can I have that plus more? Because I'm saying extends. Whenever you extend something, you have whatever your parent has plus whatever you want to put of your own, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Inheritance again. Okay? So with that, I'm having that. So look, now all this code that you see here, okay, all those lines are no longer in the main. Remember here they were all in the main, look. Right? Now if I want to have an adapter for the window, I can also put it right there. Right? I go to the class window. If I want an adapter for the window for the clicking, I can put it here. Now I don't need the W anymore because I'm inside the same class. Just add window listener, and that should be it. Right? Correct?
Yep.
Now, where is it? Here now my content pane, right? This part, right? Right? Now I don't have to create JPanel, new panel, and all that. All I do now is say I will create a panel here. Say something like, I call it window panel, right? Look, I'm not gonna use JPanel. I'm gonna create my own class panel to do my own things also. Say WP equal new window panel. Okay, this guy equals my panel there. WP, right? Now, where do you think I'm going to create the buttons and put all that stuff? Where do you think I'm going to put that? In the code before, everything was in the main, right?
Yeah.
Now we see we're splitting the pieces and putting in the right components, right? So the main now so far only has window equal new window, that's it. All the visible, all the width, all of that is done in the window class, because this is the one that is in charge of managing everything respective to the window, right? Where do you think I should put everything as the buttons? Where did I tell you the buttons were going to be put?
In the panel?
In the panel. So I shouldn't put them here. So now in the constructor, when I say new window panel here, the constructor of panel should be clearing buttons and adding them up. Got it?
Yep.
So this window you don't have to touch it anymore. You see that the modularization, how it looks more organized? So now, I just go to panel here and create as many buttons as I need. And just add all of them. So now if I run my program, this is how it flows. The main creates a window. The window sets the size, the title, everything, and creates a panel. Correct? The panel is created and starts adding buttons into it. And then the window adds the panel that already contains the buttons into himself. And now everything is ready. Right? You see? Green by. Got it? This is from the window down. Now this gives you a bunch of power and a bunch of control. Because I could do something like this. I could create an array of buttons right here. Private J button. Button. Okay? And I could do something like this. Buttons equal new, 3 buttons. So you want to have 4 buttons, an array of 4 buttons. In your case of the tic-tac-toe, you might have 16 buttons, right? Or you could have a bidimensional array of buttons, which would be better. Which would be something like this. Right? Correct?
Yep, yep.
I can do that if you wanted to. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
And I create a bidimensional array of 2 by 2, for example. Okay? And then, how do I create the buttons like this? Right? Remember this logic, right? Or I can even have a method to do that. If I don't want to do all this job, I can have a method to do that. I can say something like, create buttons for me. I just want to show you the power of having things organized. I have full control of what I want to do. Remember that drag and drop that gives you a bunch of grayed out code that was annoying? Here I can create my method. I decided to call it create buttons for me, right? Here, I'll put a for loop. I less than. How do you know the size?
The size.
N, right? That's the number of rows, right? You want to know the number of columns? J equals 0, A less than, 0, that's length, that's right? And then for every one of these, what do you want to do? You want to create a button, so you want to do button, IJ, equal new J button. And if you want, just for playing, the text of the button can be something like I-J, for example, right?
Yep.
And then after creating the button, you want to add it, right? I don't need this anymore, for example. So if I run the code, it's getting 4 buttons, right? Got it?
Yep.
And if I want to make it bigger, that's not a problem. Just change it here. You can even have constants if you want. Remember constants? Valid, static, final, end rows equals say 4 by 4. Might you want to have valid, static, final, end columns equals 4. Oh, I'm missing int. My bad. Got it? Now, I know your complaint is gonna be, I would like to have them in a nice format, right?
Yeah.
Forward here and then forward columns, right? Well, for that you have to set up a layout. There is something called set layout that will format the layout of the components in there. I'm not sure where it's gonna be. I'm gonna give it a try here. If not, we're gonna try something else, okay? I do this, you do it like this. Set layout. And here, there are a bunch of different layouts. We use grid layout because you wanna look at it like a grid. New grid layout. And you specify here the dimensions, and rows, comma, and rows. I think, I'm not sure, I'm just trying. Okay, probably that's not the way to do it, but there is a way to set up the layout to contain the way you want.
When you're adding the buttons in the array, I think you have to specify there.
No,
No?
no, that's not how you do it, you have to do it here. Yeah, probably there is a way to, you have to, let's see if we can Google it, it's not hard.
What's the... Oh, wait, that's it. Oh, that's advertising.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the layout.
Seems like it has to go on the window. Got it? Bigger? Still 4x4. Sorry?
Did it in the window?
No, it's in the pan, it's in the pan, I was right, it's in the pan. Okay? So you have it there. Got it?
Okay.
Well, you
So-
want to put an image on the button.
Okay, you want to put an image in the bottom. That is not hard either. Once you fill your button here, check it out, sir. Once you fill your button here, you want to put a picture there. You would say, for example, set icon. And then you have to create a class icon that you specify the path of the image that you want to load there. Try to make it small, it's an icon. Okay? Clear?
Yeah.
Now, but that is not the real important thing. The real important thing is, once you have your grid full of buttons, you want to have each button to do something when it's clicked, right? So you are going to put set action listen. Add action listener. Okay? Now Now guess what? If you're gonna have an action listener for the button, you have to have something like button manager, right? To manage the clicking, right? So here you say new buttons manager, for example. And you're gonna have to create your class button manager, right? Now your class button manager will have to inherit from somebody, right? Let's see how it's done. Google is your friend again. I don't memorize all of that. You see how many libraries there are, guys? You think I'm going to memorize all of them? That's something more important. Why waste my time, right?
You should have talked to the teachers upstairs.
Right.
Like Johnson, for example, has a giant poster of all the different libraries. I'm like, who are you trying to impress?
Who did you ask?
Yeah, I know he doesn't know.
You don't know syntax. Okay guys, remember I told you I was going to create a button manager?
Yes.
Okay, the button manager has to implement action listener, and the method that you worry about is this method. Public void action perform, with this same signature, action event. And here, whatever you put is what's going to happen once you click the button. If you go to the panel that I had, if you see, every time I add one button, I say new button manager. So I'm saying all of them to be handled by the same class, right? So if I'm saying, and when I go to the class button manager, it says, whenever you click me, I will print this message, I got clicked, right? So that means that when I run my code and I click here, I get this message. If I click here, I get that same message. Got it? Now, what if I wanted to print what's the text of the button? Like say, because I was, how do I differentiate between one button being clicked or another? Right?
Yeah.
There is a way to do that, a very nice way, casting. You can do this. To identify the button, you can say G-button equal, this is casting, remember? Who do you think will give me the information of what button was clicked? E, because that event tells me who, that event is the one that was triggered once the button was clicked, right? So if I put E that gets source, that will give me the button as an object. I want to cast it to a button. So if I want to see what was the text of that button, I say E that get
ID.
has something like text. Let's see. Source. check this out. Click here, says I got click 1-1. Click here, I got click 3-2. I can differentiate them now, right? Now I'll make your life harder. It's not hard. I'm actually going to make your life much easier because this is going to be useful for you guys. What happens in most of the games? Once you click a button, that button changes the text, right? Correct? If you play in, say, Minesweeper, and you click on the button is no longer empty. Now the button is going to show you a number, 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever, right? So, normally after you click the button, you want to change the text. Say something like set text, and I'll put something like maybe 3 stars. So now what will happen is that when I select a button, I print, I change the text to star, star, star. And now if I want to print what's the text, it's going to tell me star, star, star.
Create a
So
template.
how do I know?
Create a template.
Move the button
Text
text
after
after
the
print it.
option thing.
Okay, good. But still that's not going to fix the whole problem.
Create a template.
That's fine. Look,
Even a lot.
look. Now it's, okay. Let's click here. I just click 0, 1, right? Good. Now star, right? Say 2, 3, good, right?
Great,
But what if I click here again?
Okay.
great.
I lost what's the idea of that button. So using set text is a dangerous property because that can change. So what you can do though, and this is important, like many of you are not paying attention already. That's fine because I don't have a chance to help you. But anyway, you have to have a permanent way. You have to have a permanent way of identifying buttons, of distinguishing them. If you just use the get text or the set text, you can be screwed because the text can change depending on your needs. So you want to have another property of a button that does not change, right? That you can keep there. So what you're going to do is, if I create a button like this, what I'm putting I, J is what? Is the text. It's a property text, right? I want to put an ID as well. So besides putting that, I can do something like this. Once the button has created, I can say set your ID. Hold on a second. Set
There's a thousand things.
Set text?
Okay, I'm trying to set label for example. That doesn't really matter.
What does it mean when it's stripped out like that? See how it's set
Yeah,
there?
crossed out. That means that it's duplicated, it's a more library.
Oh,
But that doesn't mean that it will not work, it has to work.
yeah.
Instead of printing the text, I'll print say.
There was set text before when you were looking for the thing. I don't know if that's what you were looking for.
So changes.
still setting the set text.
Well, that's fine, but I'm thinking that,
All right.
I could get ID here, it does have an ID. There is a property for the buttons. For the ID. Oh. Okay, you use action command, okay? You use action command. So action command will be your ID. So I set text, look, in the code I'm saying set text to this, and I'm saying pretty much this is the text, right? When you create a button, it's setting the text. And then I'm saying set action command to the same thing. So initially both are the same. But when I play, and I click here, the text is changing to a star, star, star. But the action command has not been changed, that's why you always obtain that. So when I come here to the bottom manager, I'm saying
Oh, action command.
change
Text.
the text,
Okay.
but print me the action command. So that way, even though you change the text, you can always differentiate between one button and the other. And if you want to be nice and put a bunch of things, this is just making your button be beautiful, you know? Like, some of you told me what if I want to put a picture to the buttons. You can do a bunch of things. You can also do a little tip tool text, like what's the name of that? There is something that you can put like mouse over.
Tip motions, tip rule.
Tooltip.
No, there is
Create.
yeah.
Yeah, we gotta create it.
Yeah, we'll have to create tooltip and then set up the. Yeah. I've never used this one, but I think maybe it's as simple as this.
I think there's set tooltip.
I'm just making up. I don't know if this is one word, but you can keep playing with the options, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's not showing. But... Okay, guys, you see the idea, right? You can just keep testing. If you want to see how tip tool test works, just Google it, like I told you, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spend more time on this one, because this is really stupid. I already gave you the most important components of code. So you understood all of them? Simple? The idea is you have a window, you have events that you want to have here, for closing for example. Then inside a window you can have one or more panels. In your case, most likely you want to make it simple, which you will just have one panel. And the components are added to the panels, right? So I have made it very clean there. I have created my main. I have created one window class that is in charge of the big container. Then I have created a panel class, just to have one big panel. In that panel, I have put in all the buttons and everything, right? And then I have a class to manage each event. One class to manage the event of the window, and another class to manage the event from the buttons. And that's it. And that's about it. No power flow. I mean, I told you how to distinguish between one button and the other, right? Now, if you want to put colors, if you want to play a sound when you press a button, that's just your logic. That's on you, right? Any other question, guys? No? So Henry, please send this after class like usual, okay? So I have finished with all Java 2 guys. I know it's been a tough experience for most of you because you came with a weak Java 1. I tried to make my best to make you understand Java 1, but time constraints was an issue. So it looks like this is what is remaining from the class, right? You see a lot of empty spots. The final is on Wednesday, like we have already talked. It will be reviewing your projects for the ones that are not presenting today on Wednesday night. I will not penalize you. Like I told you, it's going to be full marks. The people that present today are getting extra points. And if you have any questions, if you want to send if you have questions, send me an email, or if you want, what else can I ask? Can I tell you about the exam? The exam is going to put most the emphasis on the last chapters, linked lists. Did we evaluate recursion on the second exam? I think it is, right? That's the point, right? So there shouldn't be much recursion on this one, okay? But I will ask linked lists a lot, then stacks and queues, which was an easy topic, right? I will not ask on going much. If I ask something, maybe just 2 points or so, because GUI has a lot of names. Even myself, I don't remember all names, and that's really stupid to memorize all of them. Even though you're going to use your notes, I don't want you to memorize names. That's a waste of time, okay? At one point, you're going to be like me, guys. You're going to be handling 10 different programming languages. And do you think you're going to remember all the syntax names of all of them? Sometimes I remember I was teaching C# and I would write system out ring line. And I hope no, it's console right line. But how hard is it to fix an error like that? Very quick, right? The thing is logic. And that's, if you notice, across the whole semester, I've been pushing myself to teach you logic. I draw a lot of stuff here. I spend a lot of time on the board because I wanted you to understand logic. That's my main purpose. If you don't remember syntax, again, in the final, if you make a little mistake, semicolon, stuff like that, don't worry about it. You have seen your first couple of exams. I graded like that, right? So don't worry about syntax. I worry about logic. Your final exam should be similar to the other two exams, okay? I will not probably ask everything from the whole semester. I will put more emphasis on the ones I told you. What else? Do you have any question? Yes, Alberto.
To study for the linked list, you would suggest studying from the Princeton websites, you were
Correct. I
suggesting?
would
or-
suggest you start first by, first, I would suggest try to build the class linked list on your own without looking at my notes. So you know that you will have to understand first how to create one node, right? So you define your class node, then create your class linked list. And make something simple like add first. Add first was the easiest one that everybody understood, right? So do an add first,
Right.
and test. Make sure it works. Now that you're good with that, create your add last. And finish all my class. Once you have understood my whole class linked list and you're capable of doing that, manipulate it. For example, make a method that instead of removing just one element, removes every other element, for example, okay? Or one add that receives a linked list and adds that linked list to the end of it. It should be about the same thing. You just connect the head of this one to the last one, right? So play like that. You understand what I'm saying? Try to play like that. And then when you get to stacks and queues, since you will be already strong in linked list, take your linked list to implement a stack. Instead of the array, put a linked list there, and use a linked list for your queue. And see how your pop, your push, your queue, and your enqueue changes. Got it? So those are the kind of things I'm pretty much telling you some of the questions I might ask, okay? So practice from there. You should be in good shape.
So you got recursion?
Recursion, not too much. A little bit, not too much. Sorry?
No, like a 1-pointer, 2-pointer?
Yeah, shouldn't be more than that. I know you're scared of recursion, right? Really?